Alfred Wegener was a German meteorologist who came up with the theory of continental drift. This is a story of how it happened. Alfred Wegener was drafted by the German military to serve in World War II. During his time of service, he got seriously injured in battle. While Alfred Wegener was recovering from the war, he read over scientific books and theories. When he did, he realized that the continents could fit together like puzzle pieces. In 1915, Alfred Wegener came out with a book called The Origins of Continents and Oceans that explained the theory of continental drift. When other scientists read his theory, they asked him, "Where's your proof?" Then Alfred Wegener went to South America and Africa to find rock evidence. In South America and Africa, he found that the rocks had the same strata. Strata is the age, type, and thickness of a rock.
After Alfred Wegener found the rock evidence in South America and Africa, he traveled to North America to examine the Appalachian Mountains. Alfred Wegener then traveled to Scotland to examine the mountain ranges there. In Scotland, Alfred Wegener saw that the other mountain range had stopped on the coast. There is no way that these two mountain ranges could just stop like that. Therefore, they must have been together at one time before. After he found such great evidence, he came back to the scientists with high hopes for them understanding him. When Alfred Wegener presented his evidence to the other scientists, they agreed but wanted more evidence.
Alfred Wegener then set out to find more evidence. This time, he found fossil evidence. The first piece of fossil evidence he found was a fern plant called the Glossopteris. He found this plant all over the world. Alfred Wegener then realized that the Glossopteris plant could not have evolved the same exact way in so many different climates.
Wegener then realized that there is no way that the seed could have traveled over the ocean, since its shell was too fragile and would disintegrate in the ocean water, and it is too heavy to travel through the wind.
Wegener then found animal fossil evidence. Wegener then found two different species of animals on two different continents. The first animal he found was a large land animal, and legs were too stubby and small to swim. The second animal fossil he found was a freshwater animal. This animal would have died in the salt water crossing these seas.
Alfred Wegener then went back to the scientists again with more evidence, but they declined again and asked for more evidence. Once again, Alfred Wegener set out on a quest to find more evidence. This time, he found climate evidence.
He then rode over to Antarctica, where he found coal.
Coal is made from dead tropical rainforest trees. This proves that at one time there must have been those trees in Antarctica. Wegener then made his way up to the equator to India, South America, and Africa, where he found glacier deposits.
Glacier deposits are big giant boulders that are left behind by glaciers. In the equator, it is much too warm for glaciers to form. This means at some point in Earth's history, the continents of South America and Africa and parts of Asia must have been in different places, much colder for glaciers to form.
Alfred Wegener then went back to the scientists, again hoping for them to finally accept what he has done. He came back with the evidence of the coal and glacier deposits, and finally the scientists agreed with him, but asked one question: how did they move?
Wegener was not sure how the continents could have moved. One of his theories was it was due to the spin of the Earth. Physicists looked at this theory and proved him wrong. that the spin of the Earth was too slow for such an activity. Wegener then said that the continents must have just plowed through and moved. Because of this last answer, he became the laughingstock of the scientific community.
After the heartbreaking news from the other scientists, Alfred Wegener continued his research by traveling to Greenland to find more evidence. On his expedition, he then died.